child's room is not just a small bedroom. It's a space where a child sleeps, studies, plays, stores their things, and most importantly, develops. As a designer, I often see children's rooms that look perfect in photos, but are completely impractical for a child's real life. White carpet, tons of small decor, glass elements, inconvenient storage, and a lack of proper lighting. The biggest mistake is making a nursery just cute. It's much more important to consider safety and functionality because a pretty Pinterest picture and a child's real life are two different universes. Today, I'll show you the best and worst solutions for a child's room. What actually works and what only looks good in a picture. The first and most important thing is zoning. A child's room must have 3 separate areas: a sleep zone, a study zone, and a play zone. And the less they overlap, the better. If a child eats in bed, plays at their desk, or does homework among toys, it's harder for the brain to switch gears. The bed should be associated with sleep, the desk with studying or creativity, the play area only with entertainment. This isn't about strict rules, but about making the room help the child develop, not the other way around. What's definitely unacceptable for a child's room are neon colors. It seems like a nursery should be bright and cheerful, but that's definitely a misconception. Bright green, orange, and red colors might look fun in a picture, but in real life, they overwhelm the space and quickly become tiring. It's harder for a child to relax in the evening or concentrate on their development. It's better to choose a neutral, calm base, warm beiges, whites, gray beiges, soft, natural shades, and add bright accents through textiles, pillows, posters, and decor. This doesn't mean a child's room should be boring. On the contrary, a calm base allows toys, books, and the child themselves to be the main focus in the room. And believe me, there will still be plenty of color in a child's room. Every toy, every book, every guest who comes with a gift will surely add another bright accent to it. Walls in a nursery aren't just a backdrop, they can be part of development. There are many different solutions. For example, coloring wallpaper. As the child grows and reaches higher, such a wall can turn into very vibrant, modern, almost street art. There are also markers that easily wash off this wallpaper. Another cool solution is a pegboard. You can add shelves, drawers, and hooks to it and change the configuration as the child grows and their interests change. Kids will draw on the walls anyway, so it's better not to fight it but just make it a part of the interior design. A black chalkboard wall looks great in photos, but in reality, it turns into dust, streaks, and a never-ending mess. It's better to consider white surfaces and dust-free chalk. Yes, those actually exist too. One of the best solutions for a kid's room is soft wall panels. They soften the space, add coziness, act as soundproofing, and the child won't bump into a hard wall. This works especially well near the bed or in the play area. In a kid's room, of course, it's better to avoid cheap plastic and overly synthetic materials. It's better to choose natural textures: wood, cotton, linen, wool, and calm, natural shades. The room should be not only beautiful but also pleasant to the touch. I usually prefer to paint the walls in a child's room. They're very easy to wash or repaint if you ever need to. But you can also use wall murals as well. But here's an important point. It's better not to choose random, bright, awkward murals, but something useful and educational. For example, a world map, the alphabet, animals, space, or botany. This way, the wall becomes more than just decor, it's part of the child's development. A kid's room without storage turns into chaos very quickly. The best solution is storage at the child's eye level. Toys, books, educational games, everything important should be within reach. This way, the child learns to choose toys independently, remember where things are, and put everything back in its place. A really great idea is a window bench with drawers underneath. It's a place for reading, toy storage, and a cozy little nook all in one. The less a child depends on an adult for everyday tasks, the faster their independence develops. It's also better to design the wardrobe for the child's height. If a child can't see their things or reach them, they won't be able to be independent. A toddler should be able to choose their own outfit and must be able to see themselves in a mirror. It's important to mount the mirror on the wall for safety reasons. It's best to avoid freestanding floor mirrors in children's rooms. It's important for a child to see themselves, understand their look, learn to choose clothes, and gradually develop their own taste. Even for a small child, it's important to see themselves from the outside. This way, not only is taste formed, but also a sense of their own personality. Another cool idea is a small play tent in the room. A child should have a place where they can hide away and be alone. Not a bed, not a desk, but a small personal space where parents are only allowed by invitation. Sometimes a child needs not just a space for games, but also a space for silence. Lighting should also be divided into zones. Soft warm lighting for sleep, a separate light for study, and general lighting for the play area. It's very convenient to use swivel ceiling lights. Today the desk is in one place. Tomorrow you've rearranged and the light can simply be directed where it's needed. A workspace needs additional lighting. This is important to protect the child's eyesight. Very often, parents invest huge amounts of money in educational toys, but forget that poor lighting simply tires the child out every day. In a nursery, furniture must be anchored to the wall. Dressers, wardrobes, shelving units, anything a child can pull on or use as a ladder must be secured. This isn't a designer's whim, it's a matter of safety. If the child is small, it's also important to provide a place for an adult next to their crib. A comfortable chair where a parent can read a book to the child before bed, where a mom could sit quietly nearby, read a story, sing a lullaby, or just be there without lying in the crib. Another very important point that is often underestimated is electrical outlets. It's very difficult to predict all the future development scenarios for your child. Perhaps in a year they'll want to study music, and a keyboard or something else will appear in the room. It's important that there are enough outlets for all of their talents. You might also need a humidifier, an air purifier, a nightlight, Christmas lights, and much more. Therefore, there should be more than enough outlets. But while the child is small, be sure to use safety plugs. Having outlets also gives us the opportunity to rearrange the nursery as the child grows. A nursery is one of the few rooms where the layout can change every year. The ideal nursery isn't just a beautiful room for photos. It's a space that grows with the child, helping them develop, feel calm, safe, and truly themselves. That's why the best nurseries aren't necessarily the most expensive, but those designed with love, care, and an understanding of how a child actually lives every day. If you like this approach to interior design, please subscribe. Here I show design that is not only beautiful, but real for living.